We have with us today Mr. Sunay Mukerjee, who is the Chief Operating Officer with Gateway Terminals India, which is unit of APM Terminals, and it runs a 2 million plus capacity terminal at Jawaharlal Nehru Port, located near Mumbai. It's so long been India's largest terminal in terms of volumes handled annually handling 2 million plus TEUs irregularly over the past few years. Competition is kicking in, but in JNP though. So it's a pleasure to have you with us on the show, Sunay. Welcome. So it's been a
You.
year since you started. I mean, you upgraded your facility, with the induction of the new cranes and all those kind of things, the ramp up to be fit, as you say, as you keep talking about. So what has been the productivity and efficiency gains from this exercise?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on this and interesting times and good question. It's been a little more than a year. I think we refer to Gateway Terminals India or APM Terminals Mumbai as a terminal that is constantly under transformation. So we went through the investment to increase our capacity with infrastructure increase. And then since then, we've also silently behind the scenes working a lot on our own operational excellence journey, which needs to go hand in hand, which increases the capability of what we offer to our customers. Post the investment and as an outcome of the ongoing transformation, if you look at it, we serve our customers at 3 points. The first, which is the most obvious one, which is at the wharf side. And there our predominant job is to ensure that the customer's vessels are brought in on time, handled as efficiently as possible, and sailed out as quickly as possible. What we do in terms of the measure of our efficiency is track, compared to a baseline of, let's say, 2021, a vessel that is doing same number of parcel size or same number of moves, how much faster are we handling that vessel, right, currently? And if you look at the numbers, then overall this year, we've saved 800 hours, which is almost a month's time for our customers in half a year's time through our efficiency. This is, of course, an outcome of the investment that we've made, but at the same time, it is also the efficiency drive that is constantly ongoing. There are two other points which are extremely important for our customer because we are a gateway terminal, one being the gate. And we welcome in almost 6,000 external trucks day in, day out. We are also working on innovation out there. We've been piloting and code building along with the industry, something called a truck appointment system, which helps in increasing our forecasting and planning for the trucks coming in. It has now been in pilot stage and will be going live with a formal inauguration within the month of September. Outcome of that, let's say the truck turnaround time inside the terminal for the external trucks have improved by almost 40%. In the past, in a port, you would say if a truck turns around within 1.5 to 2 hours, then it's considered to be good. We are significantly looking at shifting that paradigm and making it even more. And the final point is, of course, the railway. There is a strong drive of increasing the rail handling, and we are also focusing on constantly increasing both our capacity of handling the rails as well as the turnaround time of rails. And we turn around dedicated rakes at GTI within 2 to 3 hours on an average, which is definitely one of the industry standards that we are setting in terms of best in class. This is also to get ourselves ready for higher movement of rail. We believe that will become the future. And also once DFC kicks in, then there will be more rail volume coming in towards Nhava Sheva. So that's in short, what is the outcome of what we are doing and how we are serving the trade.
Nice, nice. So when in the first part of it, when you said that you have saved so much of time for your customers, has it resulted in more number of ships being accommodated at your terminal than earlier, or what is it like?
In our case, what happens is you will see that our parcel size or average number of moves that the customers handle per vessel has significantly increased. While that used to be in the range of 3,200 to 3,500 boxes per vessel, that is now in excess of 4,000, right? So we create two opportunities for our customers. One, schedule reliability is a thing of focus in today's world. So we are actually giving them time back so they can sail out and catch up on their schedule. So that's one option. Or two, if they were supposed to do 1,000 moves, they can now do 1,500 moves. So they can sell more and create more opportunity of export and import for the Indian cargo, right? So it's a two-pronged benefit.
Right. Now, on the point about, increasing, I'm sorry, I'm on this question only before we move on to the other things. When you say that, you are looking at increasing the evacuation of rate, which is a very laudable objective in terms of, less pollution and all that. JNPA, by and large, overall has been in the range of 17, 18%, I think, rail evacuation. Why is it that it is not improving beyond that?
Two parts. If you see, percentage is always a play of the numerator and the denominator. So JNPA has also been growing significantly on the total volume handled year on year.
Correct.
So the
Right.
denominator is going up. So we are doing a
Right.
lot more rail, but the percentile is staying the
Right.
same. In fact, you will see
Yes.
the percentage might even dip a little because the overall capacity is increasing significantly.
Right.
So
Right.
that's one point. Second, if you go with the fact in terms of price, right, the main hinterland of rail, that is North and Central India, the
Mm.
DFC connectivity is into the ports in Gujarat today, whether it is
Correct.
into
Correct.
Mundra, whether it is into Pipavav. The
Huh.
DFC connectivity into Navasheva is still pending. Once that comes in, then the rail freight will become equivalent in terms of cost. And then you will see probably more transition, which will also help in decongesting Mundra, bringing in efficiency there, and allowing
Yes.
overall customers' ease of doing business to improve for the Northwest India
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah. Well, that's right. I mean, because we all know that there is a certain amount of congestion at Mundra because they are operating about what 80 plus capacity utilization. So it's only logical. If only you had the DFC in place much earlier, it would have been good for the trade as well, right? I mean, for everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, hindsight's always the best friend, right? So as you
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
all new
Yeah.
ports now, including Badhavan, when it's been planned, they are starting with DFC as one of the must-haves at the starting point. So we can
Right.
see that we are thinking in the right direction. With regards to Navasheva, it's only a matter of time. The understanding is that by first half next year, we should definitely
Yeah.
have the connectivity in place.
Yeah. So now coming to the extra capacity that has been added at JNP, we all know that PSA is now, I mean, they have opened and formal inauguration I think is next week. So 2.4 million tons of extra capacity being added. And given the fact that there is a little bit of uncertainty, I mean, okay, it's a short term, maybe hopefully. How are you going? What is the competitive scenario going to pan out in the coming days?
Healthy. It is a need for the country. If you look at India, then India is what, around 24 million TEU total throughput, right? That's India's container volumes. 75% of that is coming out of Northwest India and predominantly out of two ports, Mundra and Navasheva.
Yes.
Neither of and both the ports till PSA's expansion is kicked in was operating at higher than 85% utilization. This means that for the trade, it will lead to additional cost, it will lead to congestion, and even as operators, it creates
Yeah.
inefficiency. So this is a much needed opening, which in my opinion will also last for a short period of time because you'll see the trade balancing out. But it gives a breathing space till we have bigger infrastructure like Badhavan kicking in, right? Which is the way to go for India in the future.
So all along, you have been the largest terminal in India, handling 2+ million TEUs. I mean, no other terminal handles the kind of volumes that you've been handling, in a single year. How do you plan to stay fit in the face of competition? What are the new things that you're doing so that you retain your volumes? You know?
So largest has never been the selling point, right? I mean, if you look at it in reality, then we are PSA phase one is already bigger than us. PSA phase one
Yes.
was 1 kilometer, while we are only 712 meters. So it's
Right.
actually a pleasure when with expansion, people are comparing or going past us, right? So we've been
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
something right. And our focus is to continue doing that. Our objective is to be India's best container terminal for all stakeholders, busiest for sure. And we also want to ensure that we are contributing constantly to the community around us, right? So that is our overall vision. With
Mm.
regards to what we want to do in terms of keeping our position of being one of the best container terminal operator is
Mm.
a few things that I've already mentioned earlier, right? Focus
Yeah.
on turnaround time for our customers, give back to them, ensure that the ease of doing business is constantly improved and they get the best in class service from us. Apart from that, we also have a lot of focus towards the community, and we want to start create skill developing opportunities for the people, because that will create opportunities for us to do even more. The 712 meters that we've got, it's not elastic. It is going to stay what it is. But if you look at it, when we started off in 2006 with our operations, then that 712 meters was supposed to do around 1.6 million TU. Then we've
Yes.
crossed 2 million TU. If all goes fine, then this year we will do close to 2.2 million TUs. We believe that we can push this to 2.4 million TUs. So our secret is to be able to do more with the same. And we will just focus on doing that, giving the best back to our customer. And that's what our game plan is.
Great. I mean, that's good to know because, you are squeezing out extra capacity than what has been, envisaged at the time of setting up the terminal due to efficiencies and productivity improvements. I mean, it's a great thing for India because, given the constraints in adding capacities, if you can, sweat your asset more, that's more, that's a very good thing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, in the first 5 months of this current fiscal year that started in April, what has been your performance like in terms of volumes handled?
Touchwood pretty strong. We've done almost August will finish by the end of the week. So we are looking
Good.
at the forecast for till the end of August. We will do almost 920,000 TUs, which is close to 184,000 TUs per month, right? In terms of
Great.
average volume. That's despite, I believe, the month of June, which was a little soft for us because of certain skips issues in some of the Southeast Asian ports, which had a spillover effect on the vessels
Mhm.
coming in India, and that's been fairly well recovered.
And have you added any new services since April this year or in the last couple of months or?
We by default, right, our concept is partnership, so we go long with our customers, so we don't necessarily see too much of churn, which doesn't create opportunity of necessarily adding more. This year, and if I speak about the calendar year, has seen two major points of change. One is before the close of the fiscal year, you will be aware the shipping alliances went through a change, right? And
Yes.
with the Gemini alliance of Maersk and Hapag-Lloyd going live, then we welcome both the European services of the Gemini consortium calling Northwest India and GTI. So that
Great.
was one that came in, and it's a pleasure to see that we are able to serve them as per their requirement and be able to deliver that greater than 90% schedule reliability, right? That the service
Reliability.
overall commits to offer to the end customers. Earlier this end of last month, we actually welcomed a new service, which is a China service called the China Subcontinent Express, belonging to Emirates Shipping Lines, which was in reality a replacement of one of their previous service, which they closed down and replaced it with this particular service. So that's the only change that we have gone through.
And I mean, as far as trends are concerned, I mean, because of this geopolitical situations and because of these tariff issues and all that, where exactly is India balancing out in terms of, sending and receiving, export, import, and all that? Which areas are, getting traction nowadays?
It's important in general, even as a terminal operator, to try and hedge our risks as much as
Yeah.
possible. That is, have balance of trade. If you go back into pre 2023 or early
Uh,
parts of 2022, then even GTI, we were extremely skewed towards the east. So most of the services calling us, more than 80% were eastbound services, right? The volume stays fairly strong on the eastbound as we see. What we've done very consciously and through discussion with our customers and partners, we've recalibrated our own balance. So while we have eastbound services, which is now little more than 50%, the balance we have going towards the west. Europe has been strong this year. If you look at a little again around the fiscal year closing, the grape season from Northwest India was very, very strong. The new service of Gemini, it's on time, doing volumes as per expectation. And then we have a US service which belongs to ONE, and that has also been a very positive one. We started off that service from the end of or second half of last year, so she's almost 1 year in now. Service has been fine. That is one which we will wait and watch and observe how it develops, specifically with the tariff situation. There was definitely a rush in terms of moving out excess volume before the date, so that was a
yes.
positive.
Yes.
It will be understandable if there will be a little bit of downfall on the overall numbers on the service over the 1 month, coming 1 month. But let's wait and watch how it develops.
Well, but you've done the right thing by, upgrading infrastructure on the sea side. But do you still think that on the land side, still improvements are required, or is it a little kind of a drag? So whatever you are doing on the wharf side is not getting matched on the land side. Is that something that you are still worried about?
In terms of the road, there has been a lot of improvement, right? I mean, over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years, specifically in Navasheva and JNPA. Also with JNPA making the investments on the land side with opportunities like the central parking plaza, right? Decongesting the road, smoothening out, it creates opportunity. If you go by the way the volumes are increasing, by default, in terms of the way the business happens, we evacuate a lot to the CFSs. A lot of volumes come from the CFSs. Have the fleet size in the CFSs been increasing at the same pace? Could be more. That being said, what can we do more to support, right? That is where we bring in things like truck appointment system. So let's bring in more predictability for the port user community so that they
Yeah.
can plan better. We also know
Mhm.
when they are planning, and we can turn around their trucks better. So this turnaround time of trucks improvement that I said, if I can improve it by 40%, that means even without adding physical infrastructure, the CFSs have more truck availability with them. So that's how we can tandem together. DFC, as we've discussed earlier, will definitely be a big step in the right direction. So I guess it's falling in place. Next year should be a more seamless scenario once the DFC comes in.
Yeah, correct. You just spoke about this truck technology thing. Is it only for you are doing it only for yourself, or is it the port overall?
No, we are doing it at GTI in terms of
Okay.
truck appointment system, but we've kind of co-created it with the Container Freight Station Association, right, with the CFS
Okay.
partners in terms of
Okay.
co-creation, as in taking their inputs. We've also
Okay.
been conscious of using the same service provider who has generally designed most of the tech from a port perspective, because the idea is, and I believe the customs is also seeing it as a benefit, then all the other terminals are free to adapt and take it in. It's a requirement from an industry perspective. We're just doing
It's
our bit,
it's
and hopefully it'll become an industry shift.
it's not your proprietary kind of thing, is it? Or
The solution has been designed here, right? Me along
okay.
with the customers. So it is not
Okay.
a proprietary solution because it doesn't help by being only good in one terminal in a port
Hmm.
ecosystem. So we will be
Hmm.
actually very happy when this is also followed by all, because it will create overall efficiency. Remember, the same
Right.
trucks are going to all the terminals. So even if they are
Yes.
moving very fast in my terminal but getting stuck anywhere else, it causes the same level of inconvenience for the end customer.
Mhm. For instance, JNPA recently they introduced some kind of a scanning system where, this factory stuff containers, for scanning, so there were various labels and all that. So that also benefits you in the long run, right?
I mean, absolutely.
The-
Anything that
yeah.
smoothens the movement of the trucks for the customer definitely creates more smooth movement into the terminal. That's one of the
Mhm.
best things of being part of a 100% PPP setup where the Port Authority has no skin in the game on their own, right? So
Yeah.
anything that they're doing is to benefit the efficiency overall within the port.
Now, coming to a very fundamental question, which has been hanging fire for a very, very long time. I think, they have to, what is the status of migration of tariff to a market-driven mechanism? What is it that you are hearing? Frankly, I mean, where is it now?
Well, I mean, I think we will celebrate a year since the first public consultation and the draft migration was
Yeah,
posted, right, last September.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, I will give credit to the ministry and all involved that they've pushed it so far.
yeah,
My understanding or reading is almost like the analogy where the elephant has gone through the door and the tail is just left to pass through. In line with the article that you've also published, we hear very similar that they
yeah,
expect it to go live this month.
yeah,
We can keep our fingers crossed and be ready for
yeah.
it. There will be certain stages that have to go through after that as well, right? Once the migration
Okay.
comes out, then all
Yeah,
of us have to do our supplementary agreements with the regular
right.
port authorities. And so it's not that the guideline comes out and everyone changes overnight. There will be
Yes,
another couple of months or 3 months phase, but hopefully once the guideline comes out, then we can start getting on with the practicalities with our respective port authorities and getting ourselves ready
correct.
to move on.
Correct. Also, the point is that, there is a really good ray of hope because, given the fact that two important things were settled in JNPA recently. One is the DP World thing, and the other one is the PSA also. They
Yeah,
sorted it through the conciliatory mechanism. So that gives us a very strong ray of hope. And I really do hope that, things pan out because then it will be a smooth sailing for everyone.
absolutely.
JNP will be on track and by and large litigation free and everything can go about doing their business, concentrate on their business, focus on the business, right? So
Totally
is
agree.
there
And that is the requirement, as we said, right? For India to grow, the bigger capacity, which is Bhadwan, will only be coming in towards the end of the decade. So right now, all of us, with BMCT coming online, then it becomes on how can we do more with what we have and create that capacity for the trade to continue growing. So that'll be very, very important.
so from one final question is, we have spoken about a whole lot of issues. What in your view is going to happen now, or is there anything that we have missed out in the discussion that you want to highlight?
Um, I guess the global trade remains something that we will always keep on waiting and watching, right? It will play an impact on how things pan out. The good part about India is it's almost becoming the land of opportunity. So if even if there is challenge in one trade lane, there are opportunities that open up in others, right? And we are always known to be a society and a culture that can adapt well. So I'm sure we will adapt to that. We as terminal operators are also getting ready to adapt
Yes.
with the new normal, whichever that is that fits in. Probably the only point which, being a container terminal operator and the nature of our industry, very important to always highlight is safety, right? We speak a lot with regards to infrastructure transformation, operational efficiency, but our license to operate is based on the safety that we create. There is a lot of work that is happening in all terminals with regards to that, and which is moving in the correct direction. It is also good that that is highlighted because I started 20 years back when I used to come to the ports or to the CFSs around. And when we visit now, it is a different world in the right way. And we have a long way to go because it's never enough when it comes to safety. So I had to mention that, but that is, of course, something very important and close to our heart.
Well said. One final thing, I actually forgot to ask you, in terms of greening, that's the
Yes.
in thing, decarbonization. Where does GTI stand in terms of greening of the logistics of the
So
port terminals of that? Yeah.
one of the biggest move we did was around September in 23. We signed a PPA agreement when that went live in Q3 calendar year last year, where a 10.6 megawatt captive solar plant near Aurangabad went live, and 80% of the electricity that we actually consume at the terminal is green electricity today. So that is one step that has already moved in the right direction. The second important one, which we are constantly working now, is piloting on eITVs. That is the trucks that are own trucks that are going inside. For us, for example, we have a fleet of almost 110 to 120 trucks, right? Internal trucks that ply inside. The game plan is by 2028 to transition them into green trucks or electric trucks in a phased manner. So that's something that we are focusing on because that will be the next big step. The third, which is very large in terms of the CO2 emission, if you look at it, it is the shore power, because all the
Sure.
vessels coming on side today are
Yeah.
using their own bunker fuels, right, to also keep their
Yeah.
utilities going.
Yeah.
We are the pilot terminal for JNPA, and pretty much hence the first terminal in India, which will go live with shore power. JNPA will be going out with the tender very soon with regards to the shore power setup. And then the setup and the installation will go live first at GTI. So by, again, in a couple of years, we will be ready to provide shore power to all the vessels that call GTI.
How will that, can you please give a little more detail about, when you say that you're setting up the shore power in a greener way, you will buy power from somebody else through a tender, JNPA will. Is that how it is?
JNPA, not power. What happens is it is a physical infrastructure that has to be set up on the wharf, right? Which has to
Oh,
connect onto
okay.
the vessel. It's like a plug-in
Right.
socket concept. So the vessels
Right.
have the socket and the plug is on the wharf, and the plug is connected into the vessel, and that is where the power comes in. You will already see
Okay.
it in the smaller tugboats and even in cruise ships. The container ships also come with that capability, not all, but majority. The part that the shipping lines have to do is also ensure that the ships calling India, ships calling GTI that have the capability are also compatible and can take that
Compatible.
power in. So there will be certain kind of regulatory support, I'm sure, that will be required in the future to actually strongly drive it. JNPA, the grid at JNPA has also gone in with the same PPA kind of an agreement. So the power that then goes into the vessel will actually be green electricity. So that is the whole
Right.
concept that will come in.
This operator will come and set up that unit near your terminal.
They will pull the power, they'll put up power lines, right?
Uh,
And from the various power stations and substations that has been planned out by the teams working
uh,
together with JNPA, that will be
okay.
providing the power to the installation. The actual operation, physical operation of connecting it to the vessel is going to be our responsibility.
Okay.
We will do that, while JNPA will
Mhm.
take care of the investment in terms of the capex of setting that up.
So this will be what, solar or wind or what it is?
This will be, again, it's going to come through the solar, I mean, the PPA that JNPA has. So the power
Uh,
coming into the grid is already the green
yeah.
electricity.
Okay. Okay. Oh, fine. Good. But these are important points going forward, right? I
Yes,
mean, how you're going to make your port green, and also the terminal green and things
yes,
like that. That's a
absolutely.
very good thing. Sunay, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you and hear you, tell me in great detail about what is happening at the terminal and what's happening overall in the port. We'll see you at the event on the 25th of September. Thank you
Thank
so
you. Thank you
much.
so much. Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you.